Hello, everybody. I am just checking to make sure I'm live per the norm, per the usual. Let's see. View channel live. Perfect. Okay. Hi, everybody. I know I'm a little bit late. I'm always a little bit late. This is kind of the usual. This is the norm for me. I'm trying to be more on time, but I get so excited and I'm so afraid of downtime because it's boring. That I anytime I'm like, okay, there's 10 minutes before my live stream, I should probably go set up. And it's like, yeah, but it's only going to take me like 4 minutes to set up, which means that'll leave me with 6 minutes of downtime. And what am I going to do with that downtime? I'm going to get so bored. And so I will start a new task that takes exactly 10 minutes. And then I will be like, it's a whole thing. So anyway, let me fix some of my settings. So then I end up doing the thing that takes the full 10 minutes, which means then I need 4 minutes to set up, which means that I'm late. So I know all of this intellectually, but when it comes to actually being different, I struggle. So anyway, hello everybody. If you don't know me that well, my name is Megan. I am autistic and ADHD. Excuse me. And I am a life coach for people who are also autistic, ADHD, both neurocurious, which is sort of a term that I think, represents people who know that they're probably neurodivergent, but they're not sure what the labels are yet. I love working with people like that because that was me for a really long time. I was really lost without accurate labels or a good understanding of what was going on in my head for a very long time. So I love working with people like that. I cannot diagnose anything because I'm not a therapist, and life coaches cannot diagnose. So I'm not here for that. But I am here to help you cope with some of the traits, symptoms, and stuff that you're noticing in your life that is not the way you want it to be. So that's kind of what I do. That's my job. And that's a huge reason I run this YouTube channel, is to connect with you guys, to help spread as much information about autism and ADHD as I can. And of course, to, let you know that there are ways to work with me outside of YouTube as well. So you're always more than happy to reach out, ask questions. I do only work with adults, so 18 plus, please. If you're under 18, you're more than welcome to consume my content. You're more than welcome to be here and hang out, but I don't work one-on-one or in groups with people who are under 18 because I don't have a certification for working with minors, and I feel like I should if I'm going to do that. So I only work with adults. Greetings from India. Hi, Varun. Hello. So good to see you. Hi. Okay, you want to know something funny? So I'm autistic, and one of the funniest things is that our pediatrician for my kids, because I have 3 kiddos, whenever we go to see her, as she opens the door, she goes, "Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you." But she hasn't seen us yet. And so I was telling my husband, I was like, "How funny is that? Like, it's not like she hasn't actually seen us." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like when she says it's so good to see you, it's funny because she hasn't actually seen us because she's still opening the door. So she should say I'm so excited to see you, or it's so good that you're back, or something like that. And he's like, "You're insane." And I'm not insane, and he knows that. He's just messing with me. But that's just one example of autistic literal thinking that shows up in my life sometimes. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. If you have any questions really about anything, feel free to put them in the chat. But especially around social media, I would love to chat with you about social media and mental health today, especially for autistic, ADHD, and otherwise neurodivergent people, because I think my views on social media have shifted radically over the years. I used to hate it. I used to love it. I used to hate it. It's gone back and forth quite a bit. And the reason we are talking about social media today is because this week I decided I am done creating on social media, except for YouTube, of course. Now I'm still going to have socials and stuff. I'm not deleting my accounts or anything like that, but I haven't used TikTok in months. I just haven't touched it. I may actually delete that one off my phone. But I have been using Instagram and Threads and stuff like that. So I'm done creating on those platforms. Now, I might use them as a user, like I might become a lurker, but I might not. I'm not a lurker kind of person. So like I'm a little worried if I allow myself to use those social medias, I will be tempted to create on them again, and that's not something I want to do. And I can dive into why I'm leaving social media if you would like. But I'm just tired, I think is the gist of it. I'm just very, very tired. I have been creating on social media for over 5 years now. I've run my business for 4 years, but I was creating on socials for my blog for fun before that. And I actually really like creating on social media is the thing. I actually really enjoy it. But social media has been very, very cruel to me. And not that that's been completely unearned. Like I've also kind of been an asshat on social media at times. So I want to own that and be like responsible for that. But at the same time, um, I have learned and grown from my mistakes. And I feel like social media has not necessarily learned and grown with me. And I feel like I'm outgrowing social media, to be honest. I don't know that I need it anymore for my business, at least. So, okay, what is this break from social media? What is this going to look like? So, basically, there's like Megan the person, and then there's like the Neurocuriosity Club, my business, right? And those are separate things. So, my break from social media, my leaving social media is for the Neurocuriosity Club. Like I'm done creating on there. I'm probably going to put up a static 9 grid on Instagram so that when people come to my page, there's like information. But that's going to be the last thing I post probably for a while. And what was I going to say? Lost my train of thought. So I'm probably going to post a 9 grid. I'm leaving social media in terms of the Neurocuriosity Club. I'm not necessarily leaving in terms of me as a person. I still use Facebook to connect with like my cousins, and I'm in a couple of business Facebook groups that I don't want to leave and stuff like that. So I'll still be in there. I'm still going to be here on YouTube because it is a major content creation platform for me, and like it drives a lot of my sales and a lot of my email signups. So if you've signed up for my email or if you've bought something from me from YouTube, hello, thank you. I appreciate you very, very much. So it's not something I want to get rid of just yet. I am probably going to have my virtual assistant take over comments on YouTube. Just because that's really the biggest barrier for me for my mental health. But let's dive into social media. Okay, so when social media first became a thing, I wasn't allowed to have it. So like MySpace, all that stuff, like when that first started happening, I was in middle school and my parents were like, no way. Which, good for them because honestly, we knew nothing about it back then. Everything I've heard about MySpace, it was not a place for a middle schooler, right? So that's probably for the best. But then in high school, Facebook came out and all of my friends got Facebook, but I was not allowed to have a Facebook. And I was very sad. A lot of my friends weren't allowed to have a Facebook, but they just made one anyway. But I'm autistic and bad at breaking rules. So that whole thing happened. And then finally my parents were like, okay, sure, you can have a Facebook. And I was like, thank you. And so I made a Facebook. I was so excited. And I did all the cringy early Facebook things. And it was a whole thing. But that was really great. It was such a good way to connect with my friends, Then college happened. Again, Facebook was the main thing. I didn't really use Instagram. In fact, I don't think I had an Instagram at all in college, which is crazy to think about because I've been using Instagram so much like over the last couple of years. But I don't think I had an Instagram in college. I had Facebook and Tumblr. I actually had a secret Tumblr account that I grew to quite a few followers. I had a couple of posts really pop off there. It was my first taste of going viral and I really liked it. And that was probably the first sign that I shouldn't have ever started creating content on social media because there is almost an addictive quality to chasing that high of going viral, at least for some of us, right? For people like me, people who have a lot of attachment trauma, who maybe dealt with some emotional neglect and really seek out that connection and validation in other places like socials. So do you cringe now when reading statuses from your early years? Oh, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Like, come on, of course I do. They're so cringe. But at the same time, I really like the quote. I don't even know who said it, but I like it, where it's like, if you are looking back on your past social media posts, even on your past belief systems, and if you're not cringing a little bit, you're not growing. And I'm like, ooh, I like that. I like that. Cringing is a sign of growth, not a sign that you failed in the past. I like that point of view. So I hope that helps. But yes, I totally cringe at my past stuff. So yeah, I had a secret Tumblr that I was like growing in the background. It was literally just a mental breakdown space for me. I was very mentally ill in college. Very, very mentally ill. I had very severe depression. I was undiagnosed autistic and ADHD. I was in serious cycles of burnout. College was very hard on me. And that's that. I don't know that we need to dig into that anymore, but it was rough. So I had Tumblr, and then after college, I I started doing this thing where I have an old 1920s typewriter, an Underwood typewriter. It's gorgeous and I love it. I repaired it myself. It's literally held together with those little rubber bands you used when you had braces, because one of the springs broke, but that actually works really well, is the little rubber bands. So anyway, I restored it myself. I love it very much. But I got this typewriter as a graduation present for myself, because I had been asking for a typewriter since I was in middle school, and my parents were like, no, because they grew up with typewriters. They were like, what do you want a typewriter for? You have a computer. But I have always been enamored with them. And so I bought myself a typewriter for graduation as a graduation present to myself. And restored it, and I started going to festivals where I would write people poems on the spot. Because you can't bring a laptop to a festival and then print it right away, or at least you couldn't back in the day. I think now there's like little portable printers you can bring, but I bring my typewriter and I write poems on the spot for people at festivals sometimes. And people were like, oh, can I follow you somewhere? Do you have an Instagram? And I was like, oh, fine. So I made an Instagram. And at that point was starting a blog as well, like just a hobby blog, just for fun. And so I started posting about my festivals, and I started posting about what I was writing on the blog. And that's kind of was my first experience with Instagram. And it was very small for like a year, maybe 2 years, like not a lot of growth or, anything. I was posting for my friends basically. And then in October of 2020, I decided to start the Neurocuriosity Club. At the time, it was called Healing Unscripted. It's gone through a couple different name changes, but my business about mental health. And that's when I started using Instagram for business. And I got pretty good at it. It took a little time, but I mean, my current Instagram following is at like 35,000 followers, which is pretty impressive, I think. Instagram is harder to grow than like TikTok or even YouTube, I think. Instagram can be really finicky, growth-wise. At least that's been my experience. And I'm proud of that, but at the same time, like I've really enjoyed creating on Instagram, but I think I'm ready to be done for a couple of reasons. First off, because of all of the negative feedback, all of the hate, all of the aggressive comments, and then people who refuse to take responsibility for those aggressive comments is really, really irksome and hard to deal with. Basically, I've had several people leave very rude, very hurtful comments over the last month. And I just decided I didn't want to be a part of that anymore. And I know that that feels maybe a little silly, like, oh, well, just toughen up, get a tougher skin. Like, people are going to leave mean comments. You have 35,000 followers. You think some people aren't going to be jerks? Like, come on. But here's the thing. When I did start to toughen up. I did start to get thicker skin. And that's what led me to get canceled in February, because I wasn't listening to people's comments anymore. I was trying to have a thick skin. I was trying to say what I wanted to say, everybody else be damned. And that's, first of all, that doesn't feel aligned with who I am. I've never felt that way. I love the show The Good Place. And I love that they talk so much about what do we owe each other. Because, yeah, people pleasing, not helpful. Trying to control other people's emotions so that you feel safe, not helpful. But I do think we owe each other kindness. And I do think everybody's just trying to reach out and connect with somebody in this crazy world, And basically my thick skin, my tougher exterior, what made it so I didn't listen to people when they started telling me, "Hey, this is not helpful. Hey, you're doing something unhelpful and harmful and bad. You need to stop." And that's part of what led me to get canceled in February, which I'm not going to talk about right now. If you want to know more about that, I have a whole apology video here on this channel. It's the thumbnail just says "I'm sorry" with a purple background. If you scroll back to like March, April-ish, you can learn more about that there, but I'm not diving into it right now. But I would be wrong not to mention it, at least, because my getting canceled is a huge reason I'm leaving social media entirely now, because when I got canceled in February, it was deeply, deeply traumatic, which I know might sound silly if you've never been canceled, but it was very traumatic. I don't know that I would qualify for a full PTSD diagnosis, but I definitely have a lot of PTSD symptoms from it. And that's crazy to think about, but it's true. And basically, I just got sick of re-traumatizing myself. I got sick of putting myself in this situation where I had to expose myself to people who might hate me, who might turn on me, who might, all this stuff. I didn't want to put myself in that position anymore. And so that means leaving social media, like completely, really, as a business anyway. And I think that's the right call for me right now, especially given, like, I have a lot of trauma to heal, like attachment trauma from when I was a kid, but also trauma from being canceled in February. Like, I just have a lot of stuff to heal. Um, and social media is not helping me do that. Like, I go to therapy once every 2 weeks, and every single week, the main thing we talk about is social media. That is so unhealthy. Like, that sucks, honestly, to think about. I have so much shit we could be talking about. Like, I'm in a marriage, like a very healthy, happy marriage, but still there's stuff to talk about there. I'm raising kids. There's tons of stuff to talk about there. I, you know, have my own developmental stuff from when I was a child that we could be talking about. She's trying to get me to read this book, Codependency for Dummies, which is actually excellent, by the way. I've read parts of it. But I never do the homework because I know we're just going to have to talk about socials the whole time. Like, I don't want to run a business that requires hours of therapy to cope with. Okay. I'm uninterested in that. And so I think that's the big reason I'm leaving, is just I didn't like who I was when I had thicker skin. I don't really want to develop thicker skin. And I also don't want to be re-traumatized constantly. And the only way to like achieve both of those goals is to not be on social media, at least for now. Um, as a business anyway. As a person, I do plan on maybe I'm trying to decide if I'm going to delete Instagram off my phone. There's so many friends I've made on Instagram. I might reach out to them and see if I can get their phone numbers and stuff. If they're comfortable with that, just because I don't want to lose contact with a lot of people. But I don't know. I don't know. So Instagram it's off my home screen, but I might delete the app. I'm not gonna delete my account in case I decide to ever come back, but, and because people use Instagram as like a business card nowadays, so I still wanna be able to send people to my Instagram, and I'll have like a little static 9 grid that's like, "Hey, this is me. This is what I offer," like, blah, 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 all that stuff. So that's kind of my game plan. If you are one of the people who used to, or I guess still like follows me on Instagram and you're like, no, I really like the content. Or if you don't follow me on Instagram, but you just want more content, I am actually doing something kind of cool. I'm offering a private podcast. Um, So the reason it's private is because I don't want any kind of algorithm pushing it out to anyone I don't already know and who isn't already in my circles. So people like you here on this live, people who follow me on or subscribe to me over on YouTube, and people who are on my email list already and stuff like that. So I only want it to go out to people who like are already in my circles. But I've got this private podcast. It's called Bright but Very Sensitive. As every teacher I ever had wrote on all of my report cards. And it's going to be a way for us to keep in touch. It also, in addition to the private podcast, we're going to have a virtual body doubling space. So if you're into body doubling, if you find that helpful, a lot of ADHDers really enjoy body doubling. So I'm gonna have a space that you can join 24/7, any time of day, and there's a little chat feature so we can talk to each other. There's also like a little Pomodoro timer and stuff like that. So I'm very excited for that. Let's see. What is your experience with social media in regards to how it affects your ADHD? Yeah, I feel like it might make my brain even more stressed, numb, struggling to focus. Yeah. Story of my life, bright but sensitive. Yeah, Lady Phoenix. Totally. I think you'd like the podcast. The first episode, and honestly, a lot of the second episode is mostly about social media and why I'm leaving and stuff. So if you want the more vulnerable stuff that I'm not in the mood to talk about right now, you can go to the podcast. um, but yeah, I do Ariella Vate. I do feel like ADHD and social media don't always mix well, because social media is such like a dopamine slot machine. It can really wear out our dopamine systems, and not that ADHD is only a dopamine issue or that dopamine is only related to social media or something. Like, I don't want to oversimplify, but um I just think like there's that hit, especially when you create on social media. There's this hit of dopamine every time you see a certain number of likes or a certain number of followers. And it's like, fireworks, yay! Ah! Like, okay, have you ever seen the show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? Um, there's this metaphor they use throughout the show um, to signify like addiction or unhealthy attachment. Um, And it's this idea of glitter exploding inside you. Like, there's a character on the show who is an alcoholic, and he says, I knew I was an alcoholic from my first drink because it felt like there was glitter exploding inside me. And there's a character on the show who has borderline personality disorder, and she's like, I knew our relationship wasn't healthy from the moment it started because it felt like there was glitter exploding inside me. And it's this like huge rush of like dopamine that at the end of the day is not good for you, and I definitely struggle with that. So yeah, I think my social media and my ADHD totally play off each other in really unhelpful ways sometimes. Oh no, I'm sorry you are leaving. I hear that, having such a hard time managing my time and losing chunks of time. Yeah, my ex has BPD. I get that. Yeah. Losing chunks of time like to social media, because yeah, I totally get that. It's such a time suck. That's the other thing. Like, I'm going to have to find hobbies to occupy my time instead of scrolling all the time now. And that's like a little intimidating. I want to have time where I can just veg and do nothing. Excuse me, but that's just not going to be social media anymore, because it wasn't vegging. It was triggering like a lot of the time. And it's almost like there's a part of me that feels like I deserve to be triggered. There's like a part of me that's like, well, you should get on social media and you should feel bad. And it's like, why? Why? So I'm leaving that behind. And we're doing the private podcast instead, which I'm having so much fun recording already. So go to the link here in the show notes of this live, and you can sign up for Bright but Very Sensitive. And I'm sending out the link for the body doubling space as well here soon. And yeah, it's just gonna be good. This is gonna be good, you know? I am scared because it is notoriously a little difficult to build a business without social media. But I've already built a business, and I've got like a big email list and stuff. So I have resources. I know that. But like there's also a huge element of grief here because I don't totally feel like leaving is my decision. I mean, it is. It totally is. No one's forcing me out, but I feel like I'm leaving because other people treat me poorly rather than because I don't want to be there anymore. And that is still that's still a good reason to leave, right? Is like it's triggering and I don't want to be here, but I'm still sad because it's like I want to be here. Does that make sense? Anything. I didn't realize when I ran out of my meds, it was maybe 2 months and I thought I was out for a week. So I have to gradually taper up again. Oh yeah, Lady Phoenix. I totally get that. I need body doubling. Yes. Yeah. That'll be great. Trump is everywhere and his whole gang is extremely triggering. Oh yeah. Politics in general is very triggering. Start over on another channel, have a smaller group. I don't want to do that. Because I know myself. I know I'm going to get excuse me, sorry. I know I'm going to get just as hooked on getting as many likes as I can and building as quickly as I can. And so it's not totally an other people problem. It's also a me problem. And I know that. So I don't want to blame other people totally, even though they're a big part of it. It's also definitely me and my attachment stuff. I need to do a lot of healing around my codependency before I'm ready to come back to social media. So that's why I'm reading Codependency for Dummies with my therapist. Oh, goodness. Let's see. I don't know. What else do you guys want to know? What else should we talk about when it comes to social media, mental health, neurodivergence? Make it so hard. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, YouTube, I will still be here on YouTube. I'm just leaving Instagram, Threads. I'm not going to post about my business on Facebook. Like I said, I'll still have a personal Facebook and stuff like that. But Varun, I'm so sorry. I totally missed it. Thank you for the gentle nudge. How does an adult get a diagnosis for ADHD when they've mostly been a decent/average performer since childhood and managed to cope with their symptoms so far, but it's biting them back later? Ooh, Varun. Okay. So I actually have something. Give me just a second. So I have an ADHD discovery binder that you can check out if you would like. It comes with, let me see if I can share my screen. I can show you. There we go. Oops. Okay. Let's go to Drive, ADHD Discovery Binder. So this is what you'll get. It's all digital, but you get these cute cover pages, right? So you can print them out and whatnot, but you also get access to a list of self-assessments that you can take. So these are as many as I could find online. You'll also get a blank spreadsheet where you can track traits and symptoms. Plus, I've got a list of potential traits that you could choose from if that's helpful. You'll also get a spreadsheet full of links to full studies about ADHD, plus a bunch of journal prompts to help you identify, your experiences. Now, this is absolutely not diagnostic in any way because I am a life coach and cannot diagnose at all. However, I do think it's helpful when you go into a diagnosis, especially when you don't look ADHD exactly. Like you mentioned, like having decent to average performance in like school and in jobs and stuff. You want to make sure that you know what your traits are so that when they ask, you don't just go, I thought that you were gonna, I don't know. Like you want to be prepared basically, because if you don't look ADHD or whatever that means, basically if your symptoms don't inconvenience the people around you, especially teachers and authority figures and stuff, then you need to be prepared with like a list of what your traits are and stuff like that. So highly recommend checking out the Discovery Binder. I think it's really helpful. It's $25. It's $40 if you want to get the autism one as well. So usually it'd be $50 to get both, but you can buy both and get them both for just $40 if you would like. And let me give you the link to my shop so that you can check out that. I have no idea if you're interested in the autism binder or not, but let's see. Varun, seriously recommend her or any ADHD coach or counselor. It's so hard managing without someone in your corner. Yeah, thanks, Lady Phoenix. I appreciate that. Yeah, I am a life coach. I love working with ADHDers, auDHDers, autistic folks, all kinds of neurodivergent people, but especially autism and ADHD. I have individual coaching if you're interested in that, but I also have lots of groups that are available too. We have the Neurodivergent Clubhouse, which is super affordable monthly membership with like a Discord server and all this cool stuff. We have the Get Shit Done program, which is all about productivity and how to get shit done. And then, of course, there's individual where we can focus on anything you like. So if you want to chat with me, about what it might look like to work together, here is my discovery call link. The discovery call costs $15. That is not my usual rate. I usually charge, I love the website design. Thank you. I usually charge more for coaching, but I only charge a little bit for the discovery calls because I found that when I offered them for free, I had a lot of no-shows, which is just really hard on my autistic brain, like scheduling wise. It was just hard to adjust to. I find that when I charge $15, people come to the calls. Plus, you get a $15 coupon for my shop when you sign up anyway. So it's like you get a coupon for the shop. So it's all good. Seriously, of course, my counselor has ADHD as well. What a lifeline. I'm finishing up a leave of absence, but once I'm working again and have income, I would love to. Oh, Lady Phoenix, that would be great. Schedule a discovery call with me once your leave of absence is over and you're feeling more comfortable with your income. Schedule a discovery call with me and we can chat about ways monthly 15. No. So the discovery call is $15 just for one call with me. It's $15 just to reserve your spot for a half hour where we talk about what you're going through and how I could potentially help. What my usual rates are usually $200 an hour. Will you be teaching coaching too? I actually do help other coaches and whatnot. So let me get into that in just a minute. So my usual coaching rate is $200 an hour. You can get it a little cheaper when you do a 12-week package with me. That's $2,000 total, which you can divide up into 3 or 6-month payment plans that are completely interest-free. So it does not cost extra to use the payment plans. There's no pay in full bonus or like discount or whatever. Because I had somebody tell me once, they're like, I feel like I'm being penalized for being poor and that sucks. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. So my payment plans do not cost extra. I literally just take 2,000 and divide it by 3 or divide it by 6 and that's it. So what was I going to say? Hold on. So that's my usual individual coaching rate. I usually do 12-week packages. We work together for 12 weeks. We hop on Zoom for an hour each week. You get this whole really cool dashboard actually with like your link each week and little reminders, and we'll set goals. Plus you get all the replays of all of your calls with me so that you can rewatch them anytime. So you get lots of cool stuff when you decide to work with me. But Lexi was asking, will you be teaching coaching too? So I actually have another business called The Chaotic Entrepreneur. And this is where I teach people how to run their own online business. I don't have any offers specifically teaching people how to coach because I'm still learning how to coach myself. I mean, I've been doing this for 4 years and I love it. And I think I'm a very good coach, but I'm still getting certified. I don't think I can like necessarily teach you how to coach yet. I think I need to be doing this a little longer, but I can teach you how to run a business. I can teach you how to set up an email list, how to design a website. I have something really cool coming up here soon called the High Priestess Business Mastermind, where we're going to go over systems, social media, collaboration, and mindset. And I'm so excited. It's going to be so good. Let's see. Me too. I have negative 50 in my bank account. Yeah, I totally understand. I have been in tight spots money-wise before, and it is not fun. So something I'm going to tell people all the time is do not put yourself in financial harm to work with me. Don't do it, because financial harm is going to cause so much stress that it's going to undo all of the good work that we're doing together, right? Like it's going to undo it. So let's just wait until you're in a different financial position, right? And consume all my free content while you wait. There's the YouTube channel. I've got a bunch of freebies and stuff, so like you can check that out. Can health insurance pay for coaching? No, I do not work with insurance. Most insurances don't even work with coaches. That's part of why I haven't done it yet, because it's just so few insurance companies will even add a coach to their roster and stuff. So, but if it becomes more of a thing, if more and more health insurance companies start like covering coaching, I will absolutely look into it. But right now, I don't. That's info I need. Bonus that my brain loves your voice. Oh, good. I have been told I have a good voice, actually. One of my friends in high school, who actually passed away from cancer when he was like 17, which was really, really hard. But he was a super cool guy, and he was an Eagle Scout, and his Eagle Scout project was recording audiobooks of children's books so that kids could listen to them in the hospital when they were going through cancer treatment and stuff. And so a bunch of us came in and read books for him for his Eagle Scout project. And this is like still one of the highest compliments I think I've ever gotten. He was like, "You should like do this. You have a great reading voice." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." So I'm so sorry. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Thank you. It's been a long time, but it's still really sad, and his life should have been so much longer, and it was going to be something really beautiful and cool. And yeah. So, but anyway, sorry, I don't mean to bring the mood down. I do that a lot. I'm a mood bringer downer. That's just something I do. That's okay. But yeah, Lexi, let me go ahead and give you my email real quick. Send me an email. Okay. Send me an email at megan@thechaoticentrepreneur.com and just let me know that, hey, I want to join the High Priestess Business Mastermind. As soon as I have the sales page ready, I will send it your way. It's just not connected to anything yet. So I could send it to you, but you can't sign up yet because I haven't finished all the back end and whatnot. Water sign? No, I would love this. Let's play this game. What sign am I? What do you guys think? I'm not a water sign, so you've got that. I actually don't have any water in my big three at all, which is super interesting to me because I'm a deeply emotional person. But, you know, I would love to see what you guys think my sign is, my sun sign anyway. Let's see. But yeah, so I am a life coach. I'm also a business coach. That's all good. I need to wait till January to start. Perfect. So I'm actually, Lexi, doing something really cool. In December, I'm going to be hosting a free event for people who are interested in the High Priestess Business Mastermind. It's going to be called the Death Card, and it's going to be about how to end your 2024 well, especially in your business and stuff. And I am going to recommend that you join before January, the High Priestess Business Mastermind, because the price is going to go up in January. So basically, the way this mastermind is going to work is that you can join for just the quarter, or you can join for the whole year. And there's like a founder's member price for like everybody who gets in at the beginning. So the founding members price is $297 per quarter, or $1187 for the year. But in January, that price is going to go up to $497 per quarter, or I forget, like $1997 for the year, I believe. So just so you know, and I'll send you all of this information in the email, so don't stress about it. But just so you know, you might want to join before January. If there's like a big promotion, or you get paid in January or something like that, let me know. We can work it out. It'll be fine. But let's see. Is your moon water? No. I'm way too much water. Yeah. Libra or Sag, Aquarius. Not yet. Libra moon. So you did get that. I'm a Libra moon. Very airy. Hint, hint. But yeah. And I bet you can guess my rising. I feel like my rising is relatively apparent, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I just know my own signs. So I think you're a Virgo. I am not. I am the opposite of a Virgo. My assistant is a Virgo, and God bless her because I need Virgos in my life. I am so far from organized. I am so far from grounded. I am a disaster human and I kind of love it now. I used to hate it. I used to be very ashamed of the way I was very chaotic and all this stuff, but I like it now. I like that I'm just a little chaos gremlin. It's nice. But yeah, my Mercury is Libra. Oh, how fun. Yeah, my Mercury is the same as my sun sign, I believe. All right, I'll give you guys like one more chance to guess and then I'll just tell you. Any last guesses for Megan's astrological placements? I don't know. Oh boy. This is so silly, but so fun. I call myself a beautiful disaster. Do you know that song from Kelly Clarkson, Beautiful Disaster? It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. It is such a good song. Libra for sun? No, I'm a Libra moon. And Lexi got it. I am a Gemini sun. Chaos gremlin, Gemini, all the way. And then I feel like my rising is really obvious, but I'm a Leo rising. That's why I am so, people are like, you're so outgoing, you're so like put together. And I'm like, I am not. I just have the rising energy of someone who likes to be in the spotlight. That's my Leo. I'm a Sag, love my Virgos and Gems. Oh yeah. My sister's a Sag and she's she has 6 planets in Sagittarius. Like it is bananas how Sagittarius she is. It is so crazy. Which is super cool. So she is just the epitome of Sagittarius too. So oh, got it. Yeah, Gemini has lots of ideas. Yeah, it does. I am bursting with ideas all the time. It is crazy. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, this was really fun. I have another meeting not until 11:30, so we can keep chatting if you want. I actually did see a psych. They said your symptoms are not clinically significant to get a diagnosis, like they're waiting until it reaches a certain level. Yeah, Varun, that is one of my biggest pet peeves about the pathological model of neurodivergence. It basically says that ADHD and autism are like problems. And then if it's not causing you enough of a problem, then it's like doesn't matter, which is so silly, right? Like that's like saying, well, I have a cut, but I can't give you a band-aid because your entire arm didn't get cut off. Like it doesn't make any sense. It really makes no sense. If you are noticing impairment, if you are noticing disability, if you are noticing issues in your life, I say find another opinion personally. And also recognize that self-diagnosis is very valid. Like the University of Washington has an autism center that is widely renowned, and they have said that many professionals do not understand autism and that self-diagnosis is very rarely incorrect. So, and I know you're talking about ADHD, but still, like the same idea applies. Now, I'm not saying watch one TikTok and be like, I'm ADHD now. Like, that's not it. But do your research, maybe get the binder and, just spend some time reflecting on this. And if you decide ADHD fits, I think that's reasonable. And honestly, you're allowed to start accommodating yourself as if you have an official diagnosis. You don't have to wait for that slip of paper to make your life better, right? All planets are in houses 1, 2, 11, and 12. Wow. Fun astro stuff. Yeah, in my chart. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, Varun. I found affirming psych practices are more open to evaluating. Yeah. Your whole life, it's like mask, 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 still, be quiet, etc. Then we get so good at it that they think we don't have a problem. Oh, Lady Phoenix, that is it. That is it right there. Exactly. It is so annoying. It's, ooh. makes me mad. um, something that might help, Varun. Let me look something up for you. So there's this place called Neuroclastic. They have a directory. They only have one person in India and they're in New Delhi. I'm not sure how close you are, but but they offer an online diagnosis process for those who can't attend in person. So let me go ahead and send that your way. I feel like it is based largely on autism, but I find that a lot of places that are autism friendly tend to also be ADHD friendly. Not always, but generally. So it might be worth exploring at least looking into. So I hope that that helps, Varun. All right, let's see. ND Therapist is another great site. I'm not sure if they have practitioners in India or not. I know they have some global resources, but international. Yeah, I don't see India on here. It's just Australia, Canada, France, Ireland, Netherlands, New Zealand, Poland, and United Kingdom. Although that's more than they had like a month ago. So they're always adding, which is awesome. Seriously, I'm dreading going back to work. Cashier, and I love it, but it's super draining. Now I isolate. What career fields do you think could strike a balance? Ooh, okay. So I wrote about this in my book, which should be coming out sometime in 2025. So if you guys aren't already, you should get on the wait list for the book. Let me give you that link. I'm just going to drop like all the links today. So I wrote a book. And in that book, I talk about careers for neurodivergent people. Now, all of this is with the huge caveat that I have never held a 9 to 5. I just haven't. So let me actually pull my book up because I don't even remember what I wrote, to be honest. It's been like a month since I've even looked at the book because I finished it. And so, or the first draft anyway, and I sent it off to my editor and I'm waiting to get his notes before I start fiddling with it again. But I know I wrote about careers for neurodivergent people in here. And this is just a very broad guide, like whatever works for you works for you. But okay, so some of the things I wrote about were fulfillment factors and burnout factors, basically, burnout triggers. So some of the fulfillment factors that are most common amongst auDHD people, because my book is specifically for people who are both autistic and ADHD, are helping others, structure to novelty ratio, good coworkers, and passion for the subject, right? So those are some things you want to look for in a job. You want to be able to help others, have a good ratio between structure and novelty. You want to look for good coworkers if you can. That's kind of uncontrollable, and then you want to have passion for the thing you're doing. Burnout triggers. These are things you want to avoid if you can. Long hours, detail-oriented work, dedication to hierarchies, and emotionally intense work. Now, for some people, these are not going to be burnout triggers, but for a lot of us, it is. So some of the job recommendations I have, one is nurse. I can't tell you the number of ADHD, autistic, and auDHD people I know who are nurses. It is bananas. Like, nursing really seems to be the thing for a lot of us, which is great. A content creator, influencer, or business owner. I find that this can be a really great job for a lot of us. A tradesperson, so like welding, painting, plumbing, that kind of stuff, like can be really, really good for a lot of us. It does take some time to reach the master level, but usually apprenticeships are paid, which is really helpful. So yeah, that's probably auDHD. I was in nursing school. Yeah. Writing them down. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of what I would recommend job-wise. I need to get a pad of paper. Thank you so much. Yeah, feel free to, once you've got a pad of paper, let me know and I can repeat all that for you if you like. Because yeah, job stuff is hard. If you're interested in running your own business, I'm super happy to help with that. Like I said, the Chaotic Entrepreneur, I can drop that link in here as well. There we go. My big weakness is self-doubt. When it comes to what, Lexi? When it comes to your own business, or when it comes to acknowledging your neurodivergence? What does self-doubt get in the way of for you? Or does it get in the way of everything? Now I forget. Okay, let me go over it for Lexi real quick. There are, which I generally consider to help between structure and novelty, good and passion for the subject. So those are the fulfillment factors, things that tend to make a job better for us. Then we have burnout triggers. These are things that could trigger burnout for some people. That includes long hours, detail-oriented work, strict dedication to hierarchies, basically meaning like your boss is like considered better than you. A lot of autistic folks can't stand that stuff. And then emotionally intense. Even though a lot of ADHDers are very good at emotionally intense jobs, it tends to burn us out though, and we need to be very careful with that. So just bear that in mind. Everything, lol. Yeah, I get it, Lexi. I get it. So when it comes to life stuff and the self-doubt, something that helps me, I don't know if this will help you or not. This is up to you, but something that helps me sometimes is like, would a mediocre white man be worried about this? If the answer is no, then I try to worry about it a little less, right? Like, if somebody else can be confident doing this with less skills than I have, then maybe I can be like okay with it, you know? So that's something that helps me sometimes, kind of a funny one. But let's see. Delete that. Okay. I love that. Yeah. So I just find that can be helpful sometimes. Let's see what else when I'm with like life stuff and I'm feeling self-doubt. I go to somebody who loves me and I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And that's just, I outsource my validation a lot because I didn't learn at a young age how to validate myself. And so that is a struggle and it's something I'm working on. But I also think it's okay to reach out for help sometimes and just be like, I need the validation. Can you help me? Let's see. Oh, Varun, I'm just getting to understand about neurodivergence, so I'm a noob. Do you think neurodivergence segregates people into us and them? I think we're all neurodivergent one way or another. I don't know that we are all neurodivergent personally. I think a lot of us are. More of us are probably neurodivergent than are neurotypical, but I do think neurotypical people exist. I just don't think they should be like the norm because I don't think they are. Because like my experience as an ADHD person is really different from an experience of like a non-ADHD person. And like my husband, we're pretty sure is neurotypical. Like he doesn't seem to have trauma. He's not diagnosed with any mental health issues or anything like that. So like it's crazy. It's very wild to me to be like, wow, you're just like well adjusted and normal. Like it's crazy. So I do think those people exist because I'm pretty sure I'm married to one. I think sometimes neurodivergence can devolve into an us versus them thing. But what I really like, there's a book called We're All Neurodiverse. We're All Neuro. Sunny Jane Wise. So what that book title doesn't mean is, oh, we're all neurodivergent. Everybody's neurodivergent. It's we're all neurodiverse, which means as a group together, we have a diverse representation of neurotypes and brain types and people. And that is the point, is the group of people who are all different and it's okay, you know? That's helpful wording. Validation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's so bright. Hold on. I'm so glad you're on here today. I was getting discouraged. No, we are not. There are brain scans. You can see the difference between neurodivergent and neurotypical brains. Kind of. fMRIs are a little less reliable than people like to think that they are. They're not like you can get a brain to do stuff even in like a dead fish. So like they're not perfect. They're not junk science or anything, but they're not like infallible. Well, there is a hair somewhere. Do you guys ever get that where it's like there is a hair somewhere and it's driving me bonkers? Anyway, so I don't always there's a lot of stuff you can't see on a brain scan. that still differentiates us and stuff. But yeah, I would argue that we're not all neurodivergent, but a lot more of us are neurodivergent in some way than the number of people who are neurotypical, in my experience. I live by me being the nexus of normal, where I'm normal and NTs in my life are the weirdos, not to be us versus them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get it. It's like you have to think that you're okay. That's just an essential part of self-esteem. And what we don't want to do is put our self-esteem on like, well, my self-esteem is built on putting these people down, because then whenever these people seem good, you're going to be like, oh no, and then your self-esteem topples. So we don't want to build it that way. We want to build it together. Like, my self-esteem is built on the fact that like I am breathing, my heart is beating, and therefore I am worthy. I deserve to exist. I deserve to take up space. I am a decent human being. Something that has really helped me is like, I am not better or worse than like 90% of the population. And that really helps me, like, okay. I'm not I'm not a horrible monster, but I'm also not like a goddess. I'm just a person, and like that really, really helps. Yeah, exactly, Lady Phoenix. There's definitely conflicting information out there. Love it, Lexi. Yeah, and different, not better or less. Yes, 100%. Love these affirmations. Yeah, good. I like to do something. This is something I teach a lot of my one-on-one clients, but it's this idea of bridge thoughts. So you have your current thought, right, that you don't like, that's not helpful. Then you have this like beautiful positive thought that you just love and you want to think that, but your brain's bullshit detector is like, that's nonsense. That's garbage. So you can't just jump from one to the other. You need a bridge thought. You need a thought that like will help get you to the more positive thought. So the example I use in this a lot of the time is like back in the day, years and years ago, I had this really strong core belief that I was unlovable, like truly impossible to love. Okay. The thought I wanted to have was, it's so easy to love me. People love to love me. It's easy. Right. But that felt like bullshit, right? Total garbage, nonsense. So I built a little bridge. And I had a couple of little bridge thoughts that helped to get me closer to this thought, right? So the first one was literally, I am not the devil, nor am I possessed by a demon. I was really worried that I might be for a while. It was scary. I did not feel well. I was not in a good place. But that was my affirmation, and I could believe that. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not the devil. I'm pretty sure I'm not possessed. So that was good. Then we moved over to um I am no better or worse than anybody else, right? That was really helpful for me. And now kind of where I'm at is this next bridge thought, which is like, uh, maybe I don't have to be easy to love. Maybe I'm hard to love and it's worth it. Maybe it's worth it to love me, even though it's hard. Like that's kind of where I'm at now. So I'm not quite to the point where I'm like, I'm so easy to love and everybody loves me. I'm not quite there. That still feels kind of nonsensey, but I'm closer. I'm closer. Love it. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's been really helpful. So, alrighty. Well, it is 11 o'clock. So I am going to pop off here. But do you guys have any last questions? Any last minute questions? I'll give you like a minute or two to put them in the chat and I will answer rapid fire if you like. If you just want to know more about me, if you want to know more about coaching, if I know we were talking about social media originally, if you've got any questions about that, I'm totally here for it. So, or if you just need some affirmations to end the call, let me know. Mm. End the call like we're on a Zoom. End the live. I don't know. Thanks for another great stream/vid. Oh my goodness. Yay. How to get in touch if you leave and we have a question. Yes. So I am planning on staying on YouTube, but if you ever need to get in touch with me, especially about neurodivergent stuff, Megan at the neurocuriosityclub.com is a good one for me. That is my email. Feel free to reach out anytime. Be super happy to work with you guys. So yeah, that's where. And then also make sure you go sign up for the private podcast if you want more updates on because I won't be on socials. Here is the sign up link for that. It's also in the show notes of this video. Thank you for the stream. Love the openness. You keep up the good work to raise awareness. Oh, thank you, Varun. Thank you. Like, I'm going to receive that. Thanks. So, okay, those are all the ways to stay in touch. Thank you guys so much for coming and being on the live stream. I had such a good time this morning. Okay. Bye, guys.